Hey guys, it's Alexis. I am back with a new video on this beautiful Monday morning. And today I am sharing a success story that I think will speak to a lot of people who are manifesting and choosing differently, creating a new relationship dynamic with a specific person. And yeah, let's get into it. So today I'm talking about manifesting, changing a person, creating a new situation with a person. And like all my videos, discussing how everything comes from you because you are the creator of the experience. You are the epicenter of all because you were created to create your reality. You are an expression of the all that is energy. Okay. Before I get started, the links for booking one-on-one coaching with me, one-on-one hypnosis, all of my courses, pre-recorded hypnosis audios are in the box below. So yeah, now this client is a great success story because when we were coaching, so I've coached with her off and on, and during that time period when she's been booking sessions, there has been a lot of stuff that's been going on in her reality. And what I find with people is when there's a lot of stuff going on in our reality, it is really seemingly difficult to focus, just even finding the time to focus and recreate the aspects of the person or with the person of our choosing. Now, like I said to her gently multiple times, if this is you, you really like eventually she wrote in a success story and it was like, boom, it landed. And you really want to understand that if reality comes from us, right? If we are the creator and the epicenter of all, even just playing around for a second, if you're hesitant and skeptical about this information, just even allowing yourself for a moment to think that this is what all of the great faith systems, the religions of the world, the spiritual practices have always tried to get us to be. Finding empowerment through being a spark of God, which means that we create our reality, which if we even just play around with that for a second, whoa, letting that land. Even for me, I've been practicing this for a long time. It's still like monumental, cool information, right? Whoa, like I really am the epicenter of all. The all that is energy, the God force of reality created me to create my reality. Now, the interesting thing is even if you just play around with it, it's like, wow, you've got to really spend time focusing on it. So if you're someone who has a lot going on like she did, there was a lot of stuff going on with family, people, a lot of things outside of him, the specific person. If that's you, you really just need to carve out time to reiterate these concepts. Like she says in her success story, she spent a lot of time focusing on being the creator of her reality, right? What can often happen is that we get very caught up, and this has happened to me so many times. If you know, since becoming a coach here, I have manifested being married. I've now manifested being a mom. I have Logan is 2.5 years old. So at any given day, with seeing all of my clients creating content, being a mom, being a wife, now I am so happy to say that I am also a daughter-in-law to my husband's parents who we're very close to. So I've taken on that role. So there's that, right? And I love them. So much fun, so great. But there's so many things going on now that I can often get caught up in the 3D reality too, just like she did. And just like I'm sure you are watching this video can. We can get very caught up and consumed in what's going on. What are we doing? When you literally have a lot of things happening, right? So if that's you, you still have to make time to reiterate these concepts. Either it's like I've told a lot of people, different plans given their lifestyles. If you want an idea about a plan of how to focus on creating your reality, ask me one-on-one. It's not things I want to share in videos because then people start doing someone else's plan and then it causes confusion. Okay. But you want to find time and make time and really, like, it's not forcing yourself either to make time, but it's deciding and thinking, hey, like, if I'm allowing myself to just play around with me being the creator of my reality, if I am the creator of that out there and I'm getting caught up in that out there, I have to refocus somehow, even if it's like 3 times a day, sporadically. Interweaving it through life is my best advice for everyone. Interweaving and like interconnecting this as a lifestyle instead of like, oh, I do my affirmations here and I do my affirmations there. That also works. But you really want to make being a conscious creator, creating and manifesting your ideal life and your ideal relationship, especially when it comes to your relationship, because for most of us, that is such a big thing that's part and parcel to everything else. You really want to interweave or focus on these concepts. And you got to make yourself for a little while. Okay. Like I remember with her, she'll tell you there were a couple of times that we did sessions and I was like, okay, so not very much has shifted. And we talk a lot about the things that were going on and I'd give her advice and new thoughts and affirmations and a new perspective on these scenarios with her family. And then it was like somehow, some way in between sessions, she refocused and then boom, it was like her success story came in. But I remember asking her, okay, so like, what do you want to talk about today? Like, what are we, if we haven't had time to focus and carve out on the affirmations, you know, and that's okay. Because oftentimes people are also speaking to me so that I keep them on track and so that they have someone that's motivating them and kind of keeping them their spiritual skin in the game, so to speak, right? Because when we do get caught up and we have so many things going on like she did, it's like, how do we focus? But you got to make yourself focus. Even if it's every time that you watch one of my videos saying, okay, that's my, I listen to Alexis talk about these concepts. That's my time to really come back to me, because this really is about you. The purpose of the success stories is to hear information and motivation about people. And my intention here, it's not to say a bunch of affirmations. So you grab the affirmations, you make it work for you. No, because your reality is built upon you. It's built upon you, your belief systems, your assumptions, which lead to your thoughts, which lead to your human experience, right? So we're changing all of that. Now let me get to the success story, and then I will weave in just some general concepts today. But like, let's look at this, right? Just again, pause on the success story. If you're the creator of your reality, right? You want to start really being that, choosing that, deciding that. And even if you're skeptical about this, again, just playing around with it, thinking like, okay, so I'm hearing I'm the creator of my reality. Like, what does that mean? That means that everything comes from me? Okay. So if everything comes from me, what am I thinking about me? What am I thinking about them? What am I choosing? Nothing can happen from them. SP, right? Nothing can happen in them that doesn't come from me. So I've got to like seriously decide and take this seriously. What is coming from me? Not like, oh, like, you know, as much as I am technically here, a manifestation coach, I really am at this point, not even resonating with the term. You know, I spent years as a hypnotherapist and as a coach, and we did talk about manifesting, but it's more create your reality. It comes from you, right? Not the catchphrase of manifesting that people are writing about online and really having this weird perspective of, right? The principle is it comes from you. So who am I thinking and really who am I being? Okay. Oh, I want to touch upon taking action today because I've heard some very funny, wonky things about taking action. Okay. This week from clients. I remember that. Okay. Now let me get to the success story. Okay. Dear Alexis, I am so excited to share my success story with you. I have been focusing on myself and affirming that I create my reality. Overall, I have been feeling better about myself. Things are better at home, and my sister has a job interview this week. After almost 3 months without seeing him earlier this week, he traveled across the country with me to attend my nephew's graduation. When I shared the graduation date, he suggested we go together, and he took care of all the details for the trip for us. During the trip, he was loving, caring, and affectionate. We had the best time as if time had not passed. He referred to me as his girlfriend during this entire trip, something he had never done before, even when we were dating. At the end of the trip, he thanked me for allowing him to share this special time with me and my family and told me how much he loved me and appreciated me. When he said things I didn't like or contradicted what I had intended, I reminded myself that it didn't mean anything and I didn't need to create a story in my mind. I can't wait to share what happens next. I'm so grateful for you. I could hear your voice in my head the entire time, and I still do. Thank you so much for your guidance. I feel like I found a friend, a therapist, and a coach in you. I'll see you during our next session and share more updates. I know more is coming. Best, okay? I had to take a pause because we wanted to omit some information for confidentiality because all the success stories are super confidential. So now the big key pointers here. Now, without going into more about that, I want to say too, the backstory outside of this was that he was non-committal, non-emotional, not involved. And the guy, her SP, lives like 10 minutes away from her. They were never seeing each other. Nothing in her 3D reality was really happening with him. And that they were super, super, super friend zoned. I don't like the term, but I'm using it just for an analogy here. They were very much friend zoned. I'm saying that, you guys, with the caveat, don't start labeling yourself friend zone. Alexis, we're friend zoned. No, it's my term to get it across. Okay. Every time that I use a term in a video, it is not so that you label yourself that. It's so that we understand, oh, that's what's happening. That's unwanted. What do we want instead? So like, yeah, there was like none of this. None of this was happening. He was in communication with her, but there was also some evidence of like a third party at one point. Okay. So this success story is huge, in my opinion, given how there was like nothing happening. And then just through the power of her focusing, I am the creator of my reality. Now, the thing is this, that was the first thing that she put in her success story. It wasn't, I've been doing a bunch of affirmations and I've been affirming like crazy. And I've just been tailoring every thought and I'm doing my list of intentions. That whole way of doing this, you guys, is not successful in the long run. The way that we are successful as conscious creators is embodying and being the conscious creator, knowing that through my presence of I am the God of this reality, this is my creation. This is really me. I was created, literally reclaiming my birthright. I was created to create this. That's why the affirmations work. If you're thinking that, oh, I'm saying a bunch of affirmations, doing a bunch of things, thinking a bunch of thoughts, saying a bunch of things, blah, 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 negating the fact of why, which is that you're the creator of your reality, you're really missing the boat. And that's why it's probably not working for you. Okay. We need to understand and really be in the understanding and knowing of like, this truly is my experience. This does come from me. Now, even as I say that, right, it does come with a fair amount of responsibility. If everything comes from you and your person is created by you and nothing in them can come from them unless it comes from you first, it's like, whoa, does that mean that I can't ever be frustrated? I can't ever be angry. I can't ever be mad? No, it just means that we don't want, as you begin to do this practice like this client did, he was saying things, she writes it in the story. He was saying things that were contradicting the major manifestation. Did she let it take her off course? Did she let him become God in her reality? Because that's what we're doing, is that we're either being the creator or someone else is being the creator. Who's the creator here? Who has the power is a way to look at it. Who has the power? Who has the focus, right? So like, I remember hearing in a distant memory of my mind, I remember hearing in one, like, kind of a way of looking at relationships or looking at life, like that we as humans make people and things into being God when we have them on a pedestal. And it's just a way to kind of look at it, to think about, am I being the creator? Am I really being responsible for this? Or am I giving creation over to them? Like they're doing something, I'm so affected by it, I'm so angry, I'm so mad. Now, again, you can be angry, you can be mad, you can be frustrated. My best piece of advice, as practicing these principles for a number of years myself, is to allow emotions when you have heightened emotions, heightened negative emotions, but all of our emotions are here to help us. You want to move through them and not let them running and governing and ruling you. Not even saying to yourself, something I hear a lot, I'm so triggered, this was so triggering. Okay, all we're doing is bang, bang, saying triggered and causing more of a trigger effect on everything. You want to say, no, I am creating a new experience in my reality. So things are happening. I'm feeling things, but I'm moving through it. I like the term trigger, like 6 years ago, but now it's gotten overused where it's like, oh, that's a trigger. It's like, no, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just annoyed and irritated right now, or something's bothered you. And it's like, that's it. I'm just going to be over it in 20 minutes by feeling it. Okay. Because how we tell ourselves what's going on is really important, right? Not everything needs to be so monumental and such a big deal. And so like overblown so that we get bothered by things, especially when you're manifesting. Something I see a lot of people do is when they understand, oh, I'm a conscious creator, reality comes from me, my thoughts create, is let me look at and let me hyper focus on, Let me self-criticize everything and every thought that I have and everything that everyone says to me. Now that I'm aware that I do this, and it's like, you don't have to do that either. Even doing that puts too much focus on other people. Nobody has any free will in your reality anyways. They are an expression and a replication of who you assume and who you think they are. So what's the point of like picking apart everything SP says to you? He says this, he says that. That was an affirmation, that wasn't. That was a thought I had, that wasn't. Well, guess what? Accepting and appreciating, understanding, it all comes from me. It's all somehow, some way, an aspect of me and my thoughts is just, okay, so that's something that happened. No big deal. Moving through it, staying focused. I am the creator of my reality. I create this. Guess what? I'm just playing around with being God. If it comes from me, oh, that's old stuff moving out. I'm focusing now on what is wanted. Okay. Now I want to touch upon taking action in your 3D reality, especially when it comes to a specific person. Now, if it is our reality and we are the ones creating it, we want to remember that we are creating and thinking and deciding what is going on from the version of reality and from the reality that we want and we choose. Now, like with this client, there was some things that happened about going on a trip. There was connection, right? But for the most part, there is nowhere in there that she wrote, I said what I wanted to say. I told him what to do. I spoke up for myself because this is my reality. I'm doing whatever I want to do because I'm the creator here, and therefore he's conforming. And you guys, that whole thing, I am fully not in favor of at all. The point of doing this is to become the creator of your reality so that you're receiving and allowing and finally getting the version of the person you want without having to talk them into it, say a whole bunch of stuff, and be taking action to make it happen. If you're coming from that place, we're generally in lack, worry, fear, desperation, things like that, thinking, oh, I got to say something and tell them how. No, you tell them how to treat you through your thoughts. Now, let's not take this too far and say, oh, Alexis, you're telling me to go into no contact and not saying anything, and I'm sitting here just waiting. No, I'm not saying that either, right? You want to find a way, again, to move through the experience, take the best choices for you from the perspective of, I create my reality. This is my creation. The thoughts of me create the thoughts of them, create the thoughts of us. So from that place, like, heck no, I'm not going to be telling you how to treat me and that you love me and we should do this. We should be together. Call me your girlfriend. No, she did none of that. And I am also very against that because, again, we're coming from anxiety, worry, and fear. And we all know this, right? It pushes people away because you're in the lack of it. You're in the fear. There's so much anxiety when we're like that. And people just don't conform to the thoughts, and reality does not conform to being our creation because we've taken our power and put it out there. The power is with them. The power is outside, etc. So you really want to learn how to develop new habits about communication and about how the person is treating you and allowing yourself to persist and stay on it. I'm not sure if I said this in my last video, but there's one client I have who said to me, wow, Alexis. So it's like the thoughts that I was thinking about him 2 months ago are now showing up here. And I said, huh, interesting. Well, that's an interesting way that your mind is processing what's going on as you're still reclaiming your power and your control and creating your reality. But even looking at it that way, and this is someone who does consistent coaching where she's worked through so many things and manifested so many things. It's all happening in business, career, and SP. Okay. That's a way to look at it. And that's why persisting without time is so necessary, because you just never know. The thoughts can land right now. There can be blockages to that thought. So we have to work through it, but staying out of the idea of time, because time, there's no need. The more that we focus on time and when does the affirmation come through, when does it happen, we're using all those thoughts as our power instead of I'm the creator and like it's happening now, to simplify it, right? So asking yourself this, like, really, truly, am I practicing these principles? Now, with this client, it took me a little while to be like, are we really putting this into practice? Like in between sessions, I'd be like, well, is there time for you to actually focus? Are you creating, as a creator, are you creating time and pockets of time to focus on this, right? And there was so much going on. Now, even when there is so much going on with people in our reality, since we're the creator of our reality, we just have to create time and make time for it and focus and having ease and joy in doing so. The only person that can recreate your person and think about them differently is you. It's not going to come from me, Alexis. It's not going to come from a book. It's not going to come from studying and learning all the principles and then studying and learning all the principles. I think I understand law of assumption. I'm here for law of assumption. I used to do law of attraction. Now I'm doing law of assumption. No, that's not even it either. These are just catchphrases that we've learned, right? When I was in school for hypnotherapy, it was that we would learn about the laws of the mind. When I was doing energy healing and energy training stuff as part of my journey to become a coach and a therapist, it was the belief systems of the mind. It was neuroscience, neuroplasticity. It's all the same. So don't fool yourself by thinking, now I've come to law of assumption and now I get it. You're not putting the principles of thought control, thought creation, being the creator of your reality. If you're just saying, oh, I'm here for law of assumption. I found law of assumption. I'm law of assumption. That means nothing. We can call it law of highlighter. And sorry to burst your bubble. If you're super excited about law of assumption, I get it, because you're understanding what's happening in your mind. You're understanding. And now assumptions and belief systems are the same. There have been so many books written about this in more advanced versions of psychology that involve the subconscious. Look up Bruce Lipton. Even if you look up Joe Dispenza, okay, all of that has been written about the neuroplasticity and that the mind is malleable, okay? But what we're really doing here is a spiritual practice of being the creator of your reality. It's almost like it should be like create my reality practice, embodiment, expression, because through being that, then you're choosing different thoughts naturally, automatically. You don't want to have a list of thoughts, right? Like, oh, if I think these thoughts, that it's like, it's getting me to be the creator of my reality. No, I am the creator of my reality first. And through embodying and being the creator of my reality, that means, again, nothing can happen with my person unless it comes from me. So like, what the heck is coming from me? What the heck am I focusing on? How am I choosing to perceive this experience? How am I thinking about our interactions? And how am I being? Okay. Now, I talked to all kinds of people all week long and all month long about their relationship struggles. And there's one thing also, that if you are with your specific person in reality, right, you want to learn how to not be resentful, irritated, annoyed, frustrated. Something I've heard a lot too is everything that they do bothers me, right? Because there's resentment, irritation, frustration, anger, maybe a little bit of hatred going on about all the things that the person has done, right? Well, remember that all your perception of all the things that the person has done really has also nothing to do with them. It comes from past experiences. It comes from who you've chosen to be. It comes from your perception of the scenario, what you've taken personally, and all the wrongdoings that you have put on upon yourself causes us to be so annoyed, so irritated. And guess what? The more irritated and the more frustrated you are, and the more people you talk to who reiterate your irritation and frustration, like, you know, your girlfriends, your guy friends, your mom, your dad, your aunts, your cousins, the more people you talk to about how annoyed you are, guess what? The more annoyed you're going to be. So if you're with your person, I say this lovingly, but you got to stop doing that, right? Take ownership for who you are as the creator of the experience, and be experimenting with yourself, being at ease. Now, I say thriving in some videos, but in this scenario, being at ease, being in the flow, being calm, cool, collected, and not going at the person silently or energetically with resentment, frustration, irritation. You just want to learn to develop these practices, because being frustrated, irritated, annoyed with the person, if you are with your SP, right? If you're not, then use this information later for when you manifest and bring them back into your awareness for the relationship. But if you are being like that, just, you know, challenge yourself, test yourself to be, oh yeah, this is great. Where are we going? What are we doing? Instead of like, where are we going? What are we doing? What did you say? A lot of people I talk to have developed the habit of, and then they're creating their reality, right? Affirmations. He's not doing the affirmations, Alexis. It's not coming through. I'm so annoyed. I'm so frustrated. Well, the more frustrated, the more annoyed you are with your thought and then your energy, the more you're going to get more of that. So again, the answer though is to move through the feeling, move through being frustrated, and dislabel yourself as that. Label yourself as being at ease, as being the creator of all, as being like, oh, this is all working for me. I'm totally at ease in my relationship and with them. It's all coming together. Like, I know it's coming together. I see it coming together. I feel that it's like way different now. Okay. So just like this client, you can get the experience you're wanting. You can finally receive the manifestation. Plop. It comes into your reality almost like for some people, and like her, it was out of the blue. But the biggest thing was reclaiming her power, reclaiming her focus, reclaiming her power with her thought and her energy, being the epicenter of it all, really truly being the creator, being God, being that expression, that spark of God within her. It isn't like we're just God, like we're gods walking around like, oh, this is so. No, it's like I really am the spiritual energy and essence of all that is. And that creates worlds, universes, everything. I am the energy that created all the things around me. This is the same. There is no story of separation, which means that nobody has any free will. We're all connected. It's all from me out into my reality. Okay. So practice this, really put this into practice and ask yourself, really, really making yourself throughout the day, if you're so busy, have so much going on, forcing yourself to be like, okay, if I'm the creator of my reality, if only I can create what I want, then that means I have to carve out time to focus. That's why journaling, scripting is so helpful for some people that it works for, not everyone, because it causes the mind to have time to focus on what are we creating. Now, you don't have to do all those things, because the most important thing is retraining your mind, retraining your focus on these concepts first, because you can do a bunch of activities, have a bunch of techniques you do, and the thing that's not really shifted is you. You've got to shift into being in control of you, in control of your thoughts, from the belief and idea and the thought and declaration. I am the creator and I'm the one creating this. Okay. All right. So that's my video for today. And I am wishing everyone well. I love you all. Celebrate yourself this week. Be at ease within yourself, developing the sense of ease, being in control of your emotions, because the only one who can create it is you. Okay. All right, you guys, I'll see you soon. Have a great week. Bye.